He's here to try some new material tonight. Give it all the love you can for the wonderful Mr. Nick Hill.
It is lovely to be here on the set of Life in the Freezer Part 2. And it's nice to see Pat has done absolutely nothing to contribute to global warming. Jeez. And I love this sign up here. Action to be taken in the event of fire. And you can't see this, but underneath somebody's just written, huddle round. It's nice being in Mitcheldean, because Mitcheldean is safe, isn't it? Out of places to live in the forest.
Yeah.
The top three, in reverse order, Lydney, Colford, and by no surprise, top of the list, Cinderford. I mean, that doesn't come. Have we got Cinderford people in? Of course we fucking have. I don't know if you know this, but Sainsbury's were going to open in Cinderford, but there's no need, is there? Because Cinderford have got there first with Cinderberries. They even nicked the same colour logo as bloody Sainsbury's. And I had to come through Cinderford tonight because I came up the A48 and then I thought, well, I'll just drop down. And I got a little bit lost, I couldn't remember how to get in. And I stopped and asked the way. Rang the window down, this bloke peered in. I said, well, which way is it to Mitcheldean? Right, just keep heading down the road. Don't stop, don't speak to any more people like me. They are likely to kill you. What? Because I'm white and English? No, because you are ginger. Right? I didn't realise what the significance of that was. I knew he was Romanian, because I don't think there are any white people, English, living in Cinderford anymore. But you won't know this. 90% of Romanians are Orthodox Christians, and they believe ginger people are related to the devil. So I thought, he's just looking after my best interests. And I thought it would be nice if the Romanians were integrated into the local community. And to be fair to him, they were. Because he said, just keep going down the road, don't stop for anybody. All right, old bet. And I thought, that's lovely, isn't it? One of my favourite stories about Cinderford was a few years ago when we used to have the Citizen. And there was a news item in there about a man from Cinderford who'd been accused of having sexual intercourse with a wild boar whilst under the influence of alcohol. And I thought, how much alcohol would a wild boar need to have sex with a man from Cinderford? And normally when I do gigs, I like to look on the local community Facebook pages to see if there's anything been going on, and it's been a bit disappointing, and it was up until yesterday, and then the comedy gods opened. This was actually on the Mitcheldean notice board. It's one of the joys of getting old, isn't it? Your bloody glasses don't work. This is from Corinne Torpring. Hi all, I'm one of the producers of the BBC Radio Gloucestershire Breakfast Show. We'd love for someone to join us on the show Wednesday to talk about their love of the Mitcheldean stink pole. And why it might be better than Cinderford's rusty pole. If you're keen, feel free to send me a DM on here. Adrian James just put, oh please don't. Richard Meadows put, all great Gloucestershire news. And Gemma Greenway, is Gemma in this evening? Gemma just put, Jesus Christ, have you got nothing better to report on? Start with the potholes or parking charges before you worry about a rusty pole. And then it's basically for people from Swansea. And I know Swansea's rough, but what can I say about the forest? You know what Narnia is, right? Just imagine this is Narnia. but 20 times rougher. And that's what's... Because apparently, according to Wikipedia, this Cinderford stink pole, right, and this for me sums up why Cinderford is so shit. This Cinderford stink pole, apparently, according to Wikipedia, you can Google it, is now one of the top 3 tourist attractions in bloody Cinderford.
Yeah.
That's not right, is it?
Yeah.
Is it? Jesus Christ. There's nothing else, I know.
I thought it was the number 1.
It probably is. So the Forest has got, for me, the Forest has got a lot to answer for my comedy. Because I actually started doing it 30 years ago, right? 1994 I did my first gig. Yeah, I know. And it was at the Forest of Dean Theatre, right? My dad was president of the local Lions, and he said, "We're putting on a variety night. You're good at telling jokes. Do you want to come along and do 10 minutes?" And like, absolutely not. No, not interested in doing it. Oh, come on, it'll be really good. So in the end, I agreed. I was going to do 10 minutes in the first bit and 10 minutes in the second bit, right? And this is what he got me to do. I've got the original programme. Look, here we are. The Forest Palace of Variety, April the 16th, 1994. To show you how shit this was, I was sandwiched between pupils of the Elizabeth Corney School of Dancing, presenting West Side Story, and Jill Clark, our songbird. Right, that was the first half. I did 10 minutes of just telling jokes because I wasn't doing stand-up then. The second half, it didn't get any better. I was in between Mabel Beach doing a monologue and the second Cinderford Guides Choir doing songs round a campfire. And I thought, my fucking life's over, isn't it? What I didn't realise, because I'd not been on stage before, was how bright the stage lights were. They were really, and I couldn't see anything. It was a bit like this actually tonight. And I went on and I did 10 minutes in the first bit and hardly any laughs. Again, pretty similar to this. And I went on in the second half and I did some stuff. And I was getting a response. Oh, this is encouraging. But the response I was getting was, I said, oh, that's great, at least someone's enjoying themselves. And then there was this audible gasp. And then when the stage lights went up, in the front row, and I couldn't see, were about 4 adults with learning difficulties. It was like, and then I didn't do stand-up then until 2002, when I actually met Pat Gallagher, your MC, and it was the first time I met Darren as well. We did a gig in the Miners' Arms in Sling, and that went really well. And then Pat invited me to do a gig at Westbury Village Hall, and that went really well. And I thought, this is great, I've practiced. We did the third gig in the Forest of Dean Golf Club. Quite a few people in, I was up on stage doing the stuff, and there was 2 blokes in the front room. In the front row just chatting. I said, excuse me, do you mind shutting up? And they said, yes mate, as soon as you say something funny, we will. I'm like, oh. I'll tell you what, that brings you back down to earth. The worst gig I've done recently, I've got to be honest, it's not really the Forest, it was Chepstow. And you know, when you agree to do something, and immediately afterwards you think, I shouldn't be doing this. I got phoned up, so we're putting on a charity night, and it's for this lady. Her mum died of cancer, and she wants to do a fundraiser. Would you come and do 10 minutes stand-up? And I know you're playing the band, so do you think the band would play as well? Yeah, all right. So where is it? They said the Burnt Barn. And I'm thinking, no, just say, no, it's fine, I agreed to do it. And I got there early, and the whole thing started about 6:30. And I went on first. I did about 10 minutes, and it was just a real struggle. I was getting nowhere. There was a second act, right? And as I finished, I said, oh, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for supporting it. Here's your next act. Here's your next act. She fucked off. She saw how bad it was. So I went off. They then brought on a drag act called Etta Buffet, right? He did an hour of the most basic, crudest material, including sex games, and he got 2 teams of 4. In the one team, there was a mother, a daughter, the daughter's boyfriend, and a son, and they were simulating anal sex. And I've got to be honest, they look perfectly comfortable with it. I'm thinking, this isn't the first time you've done this. It got to 8:30, and Sean was going to have a head shave to raise the funds for the hospice that the mum died in. Sean had been drinking since 4 o'clock, so she was absolutely paralytic, as was the friend who was doing the head shave. So she was just taking chunks out of Sean's hair, and it was like, oh God, is this going to get any worse? And then the band, we went on about 10 o'clock, and we did an hour, and it was all right, to be fair. And then Sean came up, she said, "Oi," she said, "do you know what?" She said, "You look just like that little comedian at the start of the gig." I said, "What?" "Yeah, you look just a bit an image of him, but the difference was, you were a really good drummer and he was shit." Thanks, Sean. The last time I did Jolters, just talked to Pat about it, I got stopped on the way home. I was going back to Gloucester and got pulled over in Huntley. Police car behind flashing lights, I pulled over, got out of the car. "Is everything alright?" He went, "No, your number plate's there." "Yeah." "Is it?" "Yeah." "Alright." So I opened the boot, got a cloth, just wiped it. "There you go, clean now, isn't it?" "No, that's no excuse, is it?" I think what I should have said was, "Isn't this a bit of a waste of time? Shouldn't you be out catching real criminals?" No, they don't like that.
They don't like being put behind bars themselves.
No. I have no idea what never mind. So then he said, "Can I smell cannabis?" No. I said, "Don't start that." He said, "Well, I think I can smell cannabis." And under the Road Traffic Act, because I think you might have been smoking cannabis, I can now search your car. Search away, mate, you ain't going to find anything. He's in the car, and he comes out with this. What's this? It's a stick. And he said, "Looks more like a cudgel to me." I said, "We're not in the fucking 18th century." I said, "It's a stick." He said, "What was it for?" I said, "Well, funny enough, it's for my dog. I throw it, he brings it back. It's a game called Fetch. Are you aware of it?" "Your dog?" "Yeah." "That's interesting." I said, "Not really, it's just a mongrel." He said, "No, it's interesting because this stick has got no teeth marks in it." I said, "Oh shit." Because he's a toothless dog. He said, "What?" I said, "He's a toothless dog." I said, "You've got a toothless dog?" I went, "Yeah." I said, "You got a picture of it?" "Yeah, on my phone somewhere. I've got my phone out. I'm Googling toothless dog." He's got his phone out, Googling toothless dog. I show him the picture. It's exactly the same one on his phone. "Is this your dog?" "Yeah." "Right," he said, "because this dog is a rescue dog in Portugal, apparently." "Yeah, I know." He said, "You said it's your dog?" I said, "Well, it was." He said, "What's he doing in Portugal?" I said, "Well, we rescued him from Portugal, but he wasn't very well, so we had to send him back." He said, "What was the matter with him?" I said, "Well," and you'll find this hard to believe, the first time he went to grab the stick, all his teeth fell out. He was like, "This is bloody ridiculous." I said, "Well, you fucking started it." So he let me go. When I started doing comedy, I must admit, I had aspirations. I thought, maybe live at the Apollo one day. I mean, that hasn't happened. But I am delighted to tell you that this morning, I got an email to confirm I've got a gig next week at the O2. Shopping Gloucester for their staff Christmas party. There's going to be about 5 people there, I think. Something that will probably come as a surprise to you. I am from Gloucester, across the corner, Brad, but I went to King's. Which is I know, it's a private school. I know, and I was a cathedral chorister. And I think If my parents could see me now, they'd be
Horrified?
bitterly disappointed. Yeah. And it was, I know I didn't do very well at school, right? And one of the things that sort of reminded me was we had a school reunion back in November, and one of my fellow choristers, he's a little bit younger than me, a guy by the name of Matt Clifford, you can Google this. He applied himself at school, right? He learned piano, he learned French, all. He was all right, he wasn't brilliant, but he just applied himself. And we had this school reunion, and I was like, "You all right, Matt?" "Yeah, I'm fine, thanks, yeah. You still playing?" Yeah. I said, "Well, I haven't seen you for like years, about 20 odd years, what have you been doing?" "He's only one of the main keyboard players with the Rolling Stones." Right? Yeah, I know. So whilst he's been off doing fantastic gigs, staying in the best hotels, staying on mixed bloody island in the Caribbean, here I am at Jolters on a Friday night, and I'm thinking which one of us is really happy.
You're happy!
Jolters!
It's fucking him in there, of course. I did go to King's, and it was a very different school to what it is now, a very, very different era, because I was there from 63 to 75, and we still had corporal punishment, or didn't still have it. We had corporal punishment, right? And there was something on radio too, I was listening to it today, about somebody who went to a similar school, and I first had a taste of corporal punishment. I was 6 years old, and basically what happened was, in junior school, if you got in the black book, because that's what it was called. Can you imagine that? No, black book, that wouldn't be allowed to happen, was it? If you're in the black book 3 times, that was it. You were off to see the headmaster, and I can remember it vividly. I was collected by this 6th former, walked down Pitt Street to the headmaster's office. His name was Tom Brown. How appropriate was that? And I was 6, and he bent me over, and he got this really heavy chin slipper and gave me 3 really hard whacks across my arse, and I was crying, and I was so scared I bloody weed myself. It was like awful, and I had to walk back to school like this, back into the classroom, and the teacher was, "Oh, jeez, have you weed?" Yeah, I've weed myself. We can't have that. And they took me upstairs, and they had this little bathroom, and stripped me naked, put me in the bath, filled it with TCP, and washed me. And to this day, I can't, if I smell TCP, the memory is there, and I'm straight back there, as is the memory of Mr. Jones stripping off and getting in the bath with me. That's not true. It was Mr. Thomas. But like, was it Mike?
Yeah.
So I retired last year, 2023. Quite a turning point in my life, because I've now been spending 24/7 with my wife, which is proving challenging. Because I've learned things about her. One of the things I've learned is that she should have gone into musical theatre. Because she can make a fucking song and dance about anything. And she's also a hoarder, which I didn't know before. Well, I say a hoarder, it's not a hoarder, she just holds on to things, right? Because I've started doing the shopping, I quite enjoy doing the shopping now. And I inadvertently bought some cooked salmon fillets instead of raw salmon fillets. Makes no difference to me. She went off on that. She wouldn't leave it alone. Weeks and weeks she was going on about it. And this was a few months ago, and I thought, she's forgotten about this now. And then we were sat watching Strictly one night, and she thought, she's got a nice dress. That's alright. What colour would you say that is? Red. Wouldn't you say it's more pinky? I suppose. Any particular shade of pink? Not really. Or would you say it's salmon pink, perhaps? I suppose, yes, like that fucking salmon you bought. And the other thing we've been doing a lot is we seem to spend an awful lot of time at the garden centre lately. Because I live in Quedgley, so we go up to Highfields. And I've got a loyalty card in there that much. And last August I was there on my birthday. I just went to get a coffee. And the lady went, oh, hello, birthday boy. Sorry?